Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Today we're going to be looking into multiple things. Only two things, sorry. We're looking into the tropical update. We're looking into the severe weather. But first of all, please consider subscribing if you haven't already and you'd like to see more weather content like this. So let's go ahead and get started. So right now we have the satellite pulled up. We can see we have these storms over here. Wait a second, I gotta fix this. You can see we have these storms firing up in eastern Colorado. I don't like that pen for some reason. I gotta use this one. But we have these storms firing up over here in eastern Colorado. Let's play this out and we can see. Let's see how it's been going. Let's turn on composite radar also, so we can get that going too. We can see we have a complex right there in Nebraska. But let's turn off composite radar so we can see cloud tops and stuff. Sun hasn't set yet, so we still have a pretty good view of the visible here. You can see how the storms in central and eastern Colorado have really been firing up and had a complex mesoscale system going through. Nebraska has really been just continuing on. Even the upper portion of the cloud has been making it all the way over into the Iowa areas, over into even Minnesota almost. You can see how far that thing has been making it towards Omaha, Nebraska. We can see all we can see these big storms firing up over here in eastern Colorado in this area, and even some down in New Mexico. But the New Mexico storms aren't likely going to be too severe. But definitely a lot of instability. You can see not very much clouds out here. Let's pause this and turn on some stuff so we can look at on College of Duke page. But Cape, if it would show up, it may not be wanting to go up. I don't know why. Let's see. Okay, there we go. We have a little bit of Cape. Alright, so you can see this is the latest Cape. A lot of Cape values over here in Colorado of 3,000. Kansas has widespread Cape values of 1,000 plus. And Nebraska, western Nebraska, especially in this particular area over here, definitely has decent Cape values. But the area that this mesoscale complex is moving into has enough Cape values to support severe thunderstorms, but not a whole lot for this time of year, only like 1,000 to 500 to about 1,000, maybe even less than 500 in this portion of the state. Let's turn on composite radar and look at this. You can see right there is our storm, heaviest part of the storm. We got this the big overhang or anvil right there. Pretty big area right there. This is a large storm, so it takes up like 55% of the whole state of Nebraska. But you can see the storms that look a lot more organized are these ones over here. These ones are looking a little bit more organized, but this one, it looks like an old storm. Looks like it's still pretty strong, though. I think it may have some warnings we can see real quick. We do have some severe thunderstorm watches out right now. It's a flood watch. Severe thunderstorm watches right there, but we don't have any warnings out here. It does not seem yet. Let's look at the National Hurricane Center real quick. Well, that outlast, actually. So currently, tonight, it is relatively busy. We have a marginal risk going down from Chicago, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, into the Ohio area. We have a marginal risk. Then we have another marginal risk where there is widespread thunderstorm activity in the southern portion of Georgia, southern Alabama, southern Mississippi, central and southern Louisiana, and portions of eastern Texas, all the way up into the Delaware and Maryland area, North Carolina, South Carolina, widespread thunderstorms. You can just see these things. Flash flooding is a risk along in the south and the southeast and the south over here. Look out, because you can see on this radar, you can see how slow these storms are moving. So that is the cause for there being a lot of that there could be flooding. There is, I think, a marginal risk for on the Weather Prediction Center's excessive rainfall outlook, sorry. But let's click on convective outlook so we can look at for the next 3 days. Here we can see tonight, main part is this light risk out here where we have that area in Colorado where we have those storms firing up. There's even storms firing up in Montana and Wyoming. Those are going to be moving this way throughout the night as we go through the night. Wind threat, hail is a major risk out in Colorado. That is the highest risk. We do have a 5% tornado threat in Nebraska, Kansas, and Colorado. Same area as we had yesterday. So it's kind of a re-continuing severe weather threat. But let's take a look at day 2 now. For day 2, which is Thursday, August 15th, we can see 2 areas of marginal. We have one which is reoccurring again, likely flooding potential every year because we already had some storms in the Charleston area. I think that triggered a flash flood warning. But also these areas could be seeing some, or just general thunderstorms that are not severe do produce flooding all the time. But you can see marginal risk in North Carolina, South Carolina, into Georgia. And then we have another marginal going from Ohio, West Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, New York right there. And we have another area out in the plains, the high plains, another area, again, tomorrow for a marginal and then a slight risk. Even out here in South Dakota, Nebraska, and Kansas, mostly we have that slight risk. And for tomorrow, we do even have some areas of significance. So this probably has about a 65% chance of becoming an enhanced risk. I'm not going to show all the models. Well, I know I'm showing one NAM3K model tonight, but I'm not going to show like all the STPs and stuff. Just because I mean the videos that I do show that stuff and don't really get much views. I don't really think you guys seem to like that, but so we're just not going to look at it. But let's go look at day 3 now. This is August 16th now for Friday. Friday's forecast here. But at SPC, or Storm Prediction Center, we have a slight risk once again going all the way from Colorado, all the way into the Illinois area, and in this region of the High Plains, going all the way into the Illinois area by Peoria and Wichita, Kansas. You have a slight risk. It's the same marginal, but you're really close to a slight risk. Kansas City, you have a slight risk. St. Louis, slight. Lincoln, slight. And then just a lot of reoccurring severe weather. It's very active for severe weather for the month of August, I think. It's pretty active currently, but had that marginal risk going on away from Rapid City to a little bit north of Rapid City in South Dakota, all the way down where there could be some storm development. And out here in the plains, in the desert area of western Texas by Lubbock, we have this marginal risk where there could be some storm development. Kind of after this, where there will be some storm development likely out there in that area. But let's take a look at the model so we can time this out for tonight. Let's go up here. You can see. So let's skip ahead until this is 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time, so pretty close to now. I'm not trusting this model a whole lot, just because, this model doesn't even say there's anything in Nebraska right now. So I wouldn't trust this a whole lot, because, I just showed you guys the radar. There is a lot of activity in Nebraska, some storms, but, so we're just going to have to, we'll see what this says. What we can see some storms in eastern Colorado coming together. The storms in Colorado will likely die out after dark, but then we can start to see these storms in Wyoming over here fire up, and those will move in this general direction. Let's play this out a little bit further. Now this is 10Z. We're starting to get into the daylight hours now. We can see these storms we have some going through Bismarck, right there in North Dakota, central North Dakota, and we have a few going through South Dakota and Nebraska right there. We have 2 complexes. Even some storms at Detroit. So, not Detroit, Michigan. That's my bad. But let's play this out a little bit further. You can see those things can make it throughout the day. But then we'll have Thursday afternoon, we'll have widespread storm surge. You can see in a big area going all the way from Minnesota all the way down to the Kansas area. This big swath of what looks to be some severe storms. And some of these will likely be severe, of course. You can see. Then some of those will make it throughout the night. Some of those won't. Let's see if we can visit Friday out a little bit. Yeah, so this is 23, this is 6 p.m. Friday. We can see some storms in South Dakota, Nebraska, going into the Colorado area. Over there, some storms in southern Illinois, Indiana. That look to be pretty strong. Let's play this out, and we can see later that night at about 2Z, which is 9 p.m., you can see maybe it looks like some supercells in Kansas right there, even maybe some in Oklahoma forming. Let's play this out, though. 1 hour later, this is now 3 a.m. Not 3, oh my gosh. It says 10 a.m. 10 p.m. I'm sorry. You can see these two storms right here, looking pretty strong. And displayed us at another hour, you can start to see it's taking on more of a line shape. Maybe the tornado threat has gone down. And then it'll likely take a line. This is the last forecast hour we have, which is 60. You can see some pretty strong storms. Let's get rid of that. We can see some pretty strong storms in southeastern South Dakota right there. And in northeastern Kansas, we also have some relatively strong storms. You can see right there, colors are purple in there. So we'll need to watch out for that kind of stuff. Let's go to the National Hurricane Center next. We're going to be looking at the tropics, okay? So we're going to be looking at the tropical activity and what is going on right now. Start off with Central Pacific. 5 days. We have this area out here to the southeast or to the southwest of Hawaii. You can see right here in this yellow box. We have this area of concern, I guess. It has a 10% chance in the next 48 hours of forming and a 20% chance in the next 5 days. So a relatively low chance of forming out here. But this is something we need to keep an eye on, see if anything does form. Sticking to the Eastern Pacific now, we have two things of worry. We have this one by Guatemala and Mexico over here. 30% chance in the next 5 days and no percent chance in the next 2 days. So this could potentially form. Another thing we need to keep an eye on. And then we have disturbance 1 out here. That's 2. You can see it says a 30% chance of forming in the next 2 days, and in the next 5 days has a 40% chance. So this is likely, not likely, but this has the best chance of forming right here. This system in the orange. It's where that X is, but the system will likely form in the orange box right here. You can see it. Just to give you a little idea of location, it's right here. That's the USA. That's Mexico. There's California. You can see it right there. And we do have nothing in the Atlantic tonight. Nothing expected in the next 5 days. So, relatively calm tropics tonight. We really have nothing going on currently in the tropics. We have a lot of disturbances, but we have no tropical depressions, no tropical storms, and no hurricanes. So, other than that, we have, other than the tropical waves, we really have nothing going on. But there is a chance of development, maybe into like a weak tropical wave out here into the Atlantic with this stalled out front we have over Georgia, bringing up that severe weather right now into the southeast. We have that front stalling, and so that could spring up a low pressure system. But when the low pressure system is forecasted to be the strongest, it's going to likely be over land, so that's going to help prohibit the formation of anything too bad tropical-wise. That'll wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a good rest of your Wednesday, and I will be posting tomorrow. And peace out.